Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Tom Barry. I'm going to be the instructor for your class, either Soc 201, which is Introduction to Sociology, or Sociology of Popular Culture, Soc 250. Super excited to be working with you throughout the course of the term. This is a different format than we originally had planned. COVID-19, who knew, right? That this is sort of where we would be at today. I think it's an important thing. We're all taking precautions and the necessary precautions and making things happen. So we're moving forward. I've designed the class being sensitive and aware of different people's access to technologies. Not trying to overdo it. Just trying to just manage the kind of the learning environment that we are in for the term. Have some good, meaningful content, some things that are really I think are important and valuable, engaging. Set up the class in a way that I think it's definitely workable for everyone. I've taught classes online before, and when I started thinking about moving these classes to an online environment, one thing I just really kept in mind is that these are to students who did not sign up for an online course. So the expectations I'd have in an online class would actually be larger and just heavier or higher expectations, just more content to cover. For this class, and the philosophy and the approach is we're all going to be moving through this class together in good ways, valuable ways, being exposed to a lot of great course content, and just sort of working with being sensitive to everybody's variability in terms of their access to technology, skills in accessing technology, and all those different kind of things. Okay, so my goal here of this video is just to give you a little bit of introduction, to welcome you, try to put you at ease a little bit, and just give you some background, some information, so you feel good about the class and you kind of know what's going on. Okay, so this video is for both the Soc 201 and the Soc 250 classes. So if there's something very specific to one of those classes and not the other, I will call that out so you can make that distinction for yourself. So first of all, you go into Blackboard, all the content's in Blackboard. So the first thing to do is to open up the course in Blackboard, go to the syllabus, and then just start looking through the syllabus, looking at assignments, deadlines, expectations, all those different kind of things that you would do, in a face-to-face class. So just get familiar with the class by going through the course syllabus. The second thing is looking at the office hours. This is probably the first couple weeks, probably the most important. I think just to make sure that we're all situated really well, that you're navigating the course well. That I'm here to support you as you're figuring that out as well. So I have on the syllabus the stated office hours are Monday and Tuesday 9:30 to noon, and then by appointment. So what I'm going to do is this: I'm going to be available on Tuesdays from 9:30 to 10:30 in a Zoom format. So I will have Zoom opened up. So if you want to interface with me and have a video chat or just an audio chat, we can do that. So that's Tuesdays from 9:30 to 10:30 is when I'll do that. But I'll be available to do Zoom at any time during the office hours from 9:30 to 12:30. What is it actually? 9:30 to noon? I wrote that down. So from 9:30 to noon on Monday and Tuesday, I will be available to interact with you either by Zoom appointment or by email. Give me a phone call. I can call you back. But for that hour of 9:30 to 10:30 on Tuesdays, I will just have Zoom open. So if you just want to pop in, and I'll provide some information. This is my first time doing Zoom, so you have to be patient with me a little bit. But I'll provide information in an announcement every week of what the login information is. So if you want to drop in on Tuesday, you can do that. And we can, if it's questions about the content or you just want to touch base or if you have some ideas you want to share, that's all good. I'd appreciate, you spending the time and just reaching out through that Zoom format. Okay, so then go down into the next thing to sort of talk about, just sort of general kind of layout of the class. The layout of the class is set up in weekly folders, like week 1 folder. There's a subtitle to it. You open up, you click on that weekly folder. It gives you all the information that you need as far as if there's a place to submit a document through Turnitin. So all documents are going to be submitted through that particular program. It's called Turnitin, so it's a Microsoft Word program. Or not a Microsoft Word, it's a program that accepts Microsoft Word or PDF and it may accept other formats, but those are the two I'm most familiar with. But you'll submit all written work through that particular Turnitin format. But click on the links there. You'll see like if there's an assignment, you'll see the assignment. There's a place for quizzes. So if you start the quiz, if you're in a 201 class, in SOC 250 we don't have quizzes, but in SOC 201 there are weekly objective, true, false, multiple choice quizzes. So for those who are in 201, when you click and start on the quiz, you have to start. You have to finish the quiz in the allotted time. You can't stop and go back, the next day or an hour or two later. So just be aware of that. Before I forget too, so if you're using the internet browser you're using is important. I've ran into different issues in the past with online students if they were using Safari, for example. Safari is not the best internet browser. The two recommended are Google Chrome and Mozilla Firefox. Like those are the two that seem to interface the best with Blackboard. Okay, so going back to the assignments, so weekly folder, click on the weekly folder, you get, just sort of what the assignments are. For certain weeks, there's supplemental readings. For SOC 250, every week there's supplemental readings. For 201, every once in a while, there's some supplemental readings. Those readings are in Blackboard. A couple of menu items down from the course syllabus. If you go back to the Blackboard shell and you go look at where the syllabus is, go down one or two, and you'll see it'll say either course readings or articles for the term or something like that. And that's where you'll find all the supplemental articles for the term. So for SOC 201, there's a textbook that you can acquire through the bookstore. For SOC 250, there's everything's supplemental readings, so readings that have been put together and they're available in Blackboard. For either 201 or 250, the readings that you'll see in Blackboard under those supplemental or articles or readings, you'll see like a long list. So don't get frightened and scared like, man, that's a lot of reading. I put other articles in there that we're not covering just for, I don't know, additional information or ones that I've used in previous terms that I've just kept there. So we're not necessarily reading everything that you see within that course reading area. Okay, so let me go to the Turnitin assignment or any sort of thing that involves some technology where you're submitting an assignment. So most assignments are due, with the exception of discussion boards. Everything else is due on a Sunday night by 11:59 p.m. If you run into a problem, for example, like a Turnitin, you're getting ready to submit a Turnitin document, it's like 11:45, and you're running some technical problem. Man, I can't do it. Like something's not working. Don't panic. Just drop me an email with the attached document, and then I'll work with you over the next few days to get it submitted through Turnitin. So the most important thing is just getting Turnitin on time, or you can email it to me. It's 11:45. Email it to me. You're having a problem with Turnitin. Email it to me, and then let's say 15 minutes later, or even the next morning, you figured it out. You can submit it. Well, just go ahead and submit it and turn it in. I'll know when it's submitted. I'll know when it's submitted late, but I'll know I received it beforehand, before the due date and time, so it won't incur a deduction in points for being late. And then, if you run a problem with quizzes, if you're doing a 201 class and you're taking quizzes and you run some technical problem, you have to let me know, and then I can reset things. I will check my email during the course of the week every day. Weekends I won't check it. Between Friday night and Monday morning, I probably won't check it. Or I'm not going to guarantee I'm going to check it and respond to emails. I guess the thing there is, if you drop me an email, wait 24 hours during the weekdays, and I will respond to you. But don't, drop me an email, then an hour later keep on emailing me. When I get your email, I will respond to it. Okay, just want to let you know that, and we'll work things out. So, and I probably at this point should also mention too, if something happens in terms of a sickness, an illness, like something happens, right? Some family member or there's just sort of crises that are kind of going on. Just keep me, the more I'm informed, just drop me an email. Don't be bashful about that. This is special terms, special circumstances. Drop me an email. Say, hey, Mr. Berry, this is what's going on. Here's what's happening. This is why the assignment is unable to be late, or why it's turned in late. And I'll work with you on a case-by-case situation. I trust everyone is going to be, honest, diligent, working hard, doing what they need to do. So just be in contact with me, and I'll just operate on that sort of level of trust until it's not working out for some reason. Let's see, the other thing. In the syllabus, before I forget too, so in the syllabus, this is for a 250 class, Social 250. But in 201, you'll see it as well. Like on one of the pages, probably page 2, you'll see this area. It's called basic. Yeah, there it is right there. Basic skills statement. So in the 201 class, you'll see that basic needs, not basic skills statement, basic needs statement. It does some great resources. Marcus Legrand works for COCC, and he helps students who are experiencing challenges, financial challenges, affording materials, accessing food, some basic sort of living things. And he's a great resource on campus, so I want to draw your attention to that, and that may be a resource that you might find valuable. But his contact information and email information is there as well. And then finally is the attendance requirements. So everybody has an attendance requirement. I'm going to open up the class come Monday, March 30th. But the first assignment is not due, or the class doesn't officially open up until the following week. But I'm just going to open it up early, give everyone a chance to kind of get in there, have a message from me, try to put you at ease, give you some background, some information, and give you basically 2 weeks to navigate the first week of material for the class. So the class really starts on the week of April 6th, and on Monday is April 6th. By Tuesday, I think is what it is. I think is what I have it. I'll just make sure it's that way. By Tuesday night, you need to complete the discussion board requirement, the attendance requirement, and it's just basically a short bio. This is who you are, and what I'll do is I'll look through all the discussion posts, look all through all the biographies, and I'll provide a little bit more information in Blackboard or in the discussion board about what to include in your introduction. It's a way for me to get to know everyone in class, a way for everybody else to get to know each other a little bit. But rather than responding to each individual student, I'll provide some general response after I read through all of them. It's just a little unwieldy to kind of try to respond to all the discussion board responses. So I'll respond to one general one after I have a chance to review them. But make sure you complete the attendance requirement by the date and time that's identified in that weekly folder and in the announcement of Blackboard. Treat it as, it's the first week of class, it's face-to-face. If somebody's not in class, student's not in class, does not notify the instructor, they're withdrawn from the class. So that's kind of the outcome of that if you don't complete the assignment. If you have any questions for me throughout the term, I'm here to support you. I'm here to help you out. Don't hesitate, like I said, to let me know what's going on. And we can coordinate, just communicate via email, Zoom, or I can just make a phone call, call you and, connect with you that way. If you do email me, do me a favor, or is to include in the email the message area, the CRN and the course number. So like SOC 201 and then the CRN, so I know which course that you are in, to help me just to kind of navigate a little bit better. I appreciate that. About 13 minutes in, I'm just going to give you like a few minutes of an introduction to myself so you know who I am, and then sort of a little bit about my philosophy, and then we'll call that good. I don't want to overwhelm you with this sort of a long video. So my background, so I've been teaching full-time here at Central Oregon Community College for about 15 years. I was at a college in South Central Kansas for 7 years before coming here. I have a PhD in sociology. Before I got into sociology, I kind of I go like this because it's a very divergent, moving different directions academic course line. Graduated from University of Kansas as an undergraduate in communication studies. Got married right after that. Me and my wife Shauna moved to California. I went to grad school at Cal State Fullerton to get a master's degree in speech comm. My goal was to always teach at a community college. Is what I wanted to do. It's hard to get a full-time teaching job, so after a little while, we moved to Arizona. Lived there for about 9 months. Worked at Pima Community College as well as another community college, teaching part-time, doing some other things. Then my wife and I decided to move back to Kansas City. It's kind of where her family's from. I grew up kind of all over, but my parents are from Nebraska, so it's kind of like, it's kind of like the home base, so to speak. So we were there for a while, and I got a master's degree in social work while I was there, teaching part-time, and then going to school going to school for my master's in social work with the intent of working in social work while building my skills for instruction and building basically my resume for instruction. Graduated the master's in social work, worked in clinical social work for a few years at a community mental health center, provided drug and alcohol treatment and counseling, work with people who are coming out of federal and state prison or probation, and general mental health counseling, anger management treatment. These were kind of my areas that I kind of focused in on. Did that for a while, and then took a job. My wife and I moved to Hutchinson, Kansas, about an hour outside of Wichita, where I taught half social work, and half my load was social work, half of it was speech. It was a great place to be. It's where we had a young one-year-old at that time, and then had our second child while we were there. Well, I got a call one day from the department chair. I was teaching, speech and social work, and he said, "Hey, I got a sociology class. I need staff next term. Can you teach it for me?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I can do that." I had one sociology class as an undergraduate, but I was willing, and I started teaching that class, and I said, "This is what I want to do. This is what I just had a passion for the field of sociology. I had no idea that I'd have that passion. And then I decided, okay, I'm going back to school to get a PhD in sociology because this is what I want to teach. I love the discipline of sociology. It's history, it's political science, it's human behavior, it's putting humans and human behavior in a context, right? And it's trying to understand, society and culture and humans and the interaction between all those different elements. And I find it never dull. It's super fascinating. And you can go so many different directions in applying sociology and thinking about the world sociologically. If you're in a 201 class, we're just kind of exploring, the fundamentals of sociology. We're looking at a lot of different institutions. And my hope would be that, in that class, you walk away making connections between the field and your own life and also the world of work that you're going into. You can make those connections throughout the course of the term. Pop culture is a great class. I love that class. I think we examine popular culture so that we can examine basically society. So there's a statement by a researcher. I love this statement. It's that, the statement is that we study sports, not to study sports like for its own sake, but to study sports so we can study society, right? So you study sports and you're studying gender, you're studying sexual orientation, race, you're looking at institutions, you're looking at mass media technology. Everything happens through popular culture or through culture. And so we examine culture so we can basically try to better understand things that are going on in society. Whew. Well, so welcome to class. I appreciate everything you're going to do for the course of the term. Keep me posted. Keep me aware what's going on. If you have any questions, drop me an email. Give me a phone call. If you want me to give you a call back in an email or a phone, just leave me your phone number where I can reach you, and I'll give you a shout back. All right. So welcome to class. Best wishes to you, and I look forward to working with you throughout the course of the term.